Targon does not like to be told what to do. Not even by you, Morningstar.
I don't care.
Time to take a look at some more Granomyr appearances. Granomyr the dragon was introduced during Season 1, and he also made 2 appearances in Season 2. His first appearance was in Disappearing Dragons, an okay episode which was also the series debut for Mechanic and Cobra Khan. And it also marked Orko's introduction to Granamyr. However, by far the better of the 2 episode appearances, and the one I'll be talking about today, was the later Battle of the Dragons. In this episode, He-Man and Man-at-Arms are going to see Granamyr on the anniversary of the signing of the treaty between humans and dragons. Orko also sneaks aboard the Wind Raider in order to come along. As it turns out though, a dragon named Morningstar plans to usurp Granomyr and gets an ice crystal from a goblin called Targon, which he uses to freeze Targon and then to put out Granomyr's magical fire, which is the source of his magic. Morningstar convinces the other dragons that humans are responsible for putting out Granomyr's fire and rallies the dragons with him to attack a human city and begin the dragons' conquest of Eternia. He-Man and Duncan are unlucky enough to show up as the dragons are going on the offensive and their Wind Raider is shut down. They talk to Granomyr, who tells them that the only way to reignite the magic fire is by finding more in the Pit of Shadows, the caverns below Darksmoke. The heroes face off against an ice spider and a pair of live griffin statues who will only let the good, the brave, and the wise past. This scene also contains some pretty hilarious dialogue.
You may pass. 2 out of 3 is not bad.
When the heroes find the Pit of Shadows, they are faced with the problem of how to take the magic fire with them. Orko figures out he can transport some of the fire in a magic bubble. In the meanwhile, Morningstar and the other dragons are wreaking havoc when Morningstar realizes that the heroes are out to stop him. However, on the way back, the heroes get lost and He-Man punches his way through a wall, but they're surprised by Morningstar who wants the magic fire. Orko hides the bubble in his hat, and his magic powers become so powerful he's not able to control them. Luckily, Orko's powers going apeshit scares Morningstar away, and the heroes are able to restore Granomyr's magic fire.
Well, how did it feel to have a taste of dragon power?
Next time I think I'll stay home and read a book. I'm pooped.
With Granomyr's powers restored, he goes up against Morningstar. The 2 of them settle things in a fire-breathing contest, which Granomyr wins. Granomyr makes a new treaty with the humans and promises that the dragons will rebuild the city which they destroyed. The Battle of the Dragons is an excellent episode because it once again expands on the character of Granomyr, who had become familiar through his appearances in Season 1. What we clearly see is Granomyr turning from a callous and calculating creature to someone who trusts He-Man to eventually needing the help of He-Man and his friends, creating a full character arc for him. Granomyr perhaps loses some of his badassery with his powers lost and his influence over the dragons lost so easily. But he also shows the same sort of deep wisdom which also made him such a formidable character in The Dragon's Gift. Also, in far better comparison to Disappearing Dragons, I find Granomyr a lot wiser, whereas he was quite vengeful at the end of the other Season 2 episode and needed He-Man to point out the error of his ways. I also enjoy seeing other dragons with Granomyr, and though most of them are just recolors of other dragons from the series, again, in far more favorable comparison, they're actually shown to be intelligent like Granomyr and not just growling monsters like in most episodes. I also really like Morningstar as a villain, who shows that the dragons are just as fallible as humans. This episode isn't entirely flawless, of course. For instance, there's some pretty bad sound direction on Duncan at one point.
Hey, what were the terms of the treaty between dragons and humans?
That the dragons would withdraw from the rest of the world, that the dragons could do whatever they want, and that humans are to leave them alone.
But at the same time, it's nice that the Ice Spider is an original creature for once, and not just Fisto's spider recycled again. Also, those of you who have seen The Secret of the Swords music video will recognize Orko's magic-going apeshit animations. Overall, this is a great episode I highly recommend watching. That's all for now. Next time, we'll have a look at some positively hilarious episodes. Until then, I have the power, so can you.
Have the power, so can you.